Hello everyone, Carol Lundy here again with a very quick tutorial. We're getting close to Christmas and not all of us have a lot of time left. But one thing you might want are some gift tags for your Christmas presents. Even if you've had to buy the presents, haven't had time to make things, at least you can make a nice little gift tag to go on. Now, there's an easy way to do that in the software because they have a gift tag in the Seasons folder. So if you like to open your in your embroidery canvas, open your design by going to the C drive and then My Designs Embroidery Software 6 and come down to the Seasons folder and double click on that. Now the number of the design is NZ415. So we'll just go down to that one and I will repeat that in case you were dashing for a pencil. NZ415. Left click on that and you will see the tag here. Now it's got a birthday cake on, which isn't very Christmassy, but I'm going to show you how to change that. So just click on open and your design will come into the hoop. Now I've got my computer set to group designs on opening so that I can't accidentally move things I don't want to, but in this case I do want to move things. I want to change quite a bit. So what I'm going to do first of all is select the design, and you'll notice it all turns pink because it's grouped, so everything is selected just by clicking on any part of it. And I'm going to come down here to my ungroup icon right down the bottom left click on that, and now the design is ungrouped. We no longer have little boxes in the corners of each object. Okay, now I'm going to stay in stitch view rather than artistic view so that you can see what's going on, but we'll have a look at artistic view after that. Alright, so let's have a look at the colour film and see how this design is going to stitch out first. So it's going to stitch out the green of the cake base here, then the candle flames, then the pink candles, and there's another stripe of pink in the cake obviously, some more pink icing, some yellow icing, some more pink of the cake, some more pink of the cake. Let's just scroll right down now, more yellow of the cake, and then at the last, at the very end, might be a bit hard to see because of the colour, because it's yellow, but you'll see that there is three shapes here that are the shape of the tag. The first one is just a running stitch. If I select it, you'll see it highlighted in pink here, and that shows up a bit better for you. And we go over here and it says single run. And if I select the next one, it is a zigzag. Okay. And if I select the next one, that's your satin stitch cover, and it also includes the eyelet that you can punch a hole through to tie your ribbon through. So this is the part of the design we want to keep. Now it's very similar to an applique. In fact, you could do this as an applique if you wanted to, but unlike an applique, these objects are all separate, which is very handy. Now if you had an applique design and you wanted to have all these objects separate, you would need to break your applique apart by selecting the applique and clicking on the break apart. But we don't need to do that with this design because they're already separate. They're not grouped or joined in any way. I can select each part, and if I want to, I could move that part out of the design. Whoops, I've accidentally selected the other part, but as you can see, it's behaving as separate parts. There we go. I'll just undo and put that back together. Alright, now we don't want any of the cake in our Christmas tag, so we're going to go up to the top and select the top one and come down to the one just before the tag. Hold our shift key down and select that one, and that's the whole cake and candles selected, and we'll just delete those out of the tag. So now you're left with a tag. The dimensions of the tag are down here. The width is 59.8 millimeters. I'm in millimeters, sorry for those in inches, and the height is 84.7 millimeters. But if you're in inches, you'll have that in inches down there. Now, do you want to put someone's name in here, or maybe their initial? So that can easily be done by using your lettering tool or your monogramming tool. Let's use the monogramming tool just for a change. So we'll select that. Now we might want all three letters of their name, or we might want just their first initial. I'm just going to go with the first initial. So let's say it's a capital C, for instance. So we're just going to put that in there, and straight away the C has come into the tag. Well, it's not centered, but it's there. And we only want letter 1, so I should have done that. And then you've got here, if you wanted to put a name in there. Now down here is your script, so we can go to any script we like. It defaulted to anniversary, which is a nice script, but let's go to something different just to show you what it can look like. Let's go, there's another one in here, that felt tip, which looks interesting, but it does look interesting, but it doesn't look very much like a C to me, so I'm going to not use that one. Lisa. That's a bit too curly. Sometimes in different fonts a letter will not look very much like the letter. I mean, when it's in a word, you will obviously understand what the letter is, but when it's on its own, for monogramming, you do need to be careful which font you use. So I'm just flicking through some here. You could go to your help menu and I've shown this in lettering videos before. Go to your help menu and actually see all the different fonts in your appendices index of your online manual. That's Eliza. Let's just Empress, that will do. I'm not going to fiddle around too much, but you could put a whole person's name there if you wanted to, or you could put a Christmas message in smaller print. So I'm going to go OK there. Now you could put some ornaments around that as well. You can center that into your tag, and we'll click here to go show all. So that's the initial C. But how about some little Christmas decorative things? Let's have a quick look in our seasons folder again. Now if we want to put another design into this design, if we just go open, it'll open the design in a new page, and so it won't be embedded in the same design here. So we need to go File, Insert Design. Now I'm probably just going over some things most of you know, but there are people out there who are beginners, and this is important for them. So I'm back in the seasons folder, and so I'm just going to click through. There are some Christmassy things here. I didn't actually pick one before I started this exercise for you, so I'm just going to show you what you can browse through. There's a Christmas ornament. There's a little Father Christmas with ho ho ho. He's quite cute, and you can see here the height and width of that. Now it's 87.2 by 771, so it's quite a bit bigger than our actual tag, so it's probably a bit big, that one. That one's 164 by 79. That's quite big too, so keep going till we find something small that's long and narrow. Okay, there's a snowman. He's 96 points. Yep, he's still too big. We're getting down towards a more acceptable size. So this is a nice tiny little one, these little Christmas boxes, so that'll be fine. Let's open that one. So it still says open here, but we did actually go, remember, File, Insert Design. The same dialog box opens, but when you open it this time, it will actually open into your same design. Okay, so that just fits. The letter C's not going to fit as well though, so you have to make a choice. So I'm going to actually remove the letter C by selecting that and deleting it. And I'm going to leave the boxes on there. They just fit in there nicely, and I reckon I could fit somebody's whole name under here with my lettering. So I can just go to ordinary lettering, and if I right click on it, our lettering box will open, and let's just put my name for something to think of. Whoops, I had my caps lock on. That's not much help. Okay, and go apply. Now you can go OK, and if you put your mouse cursor down here, when you left click on the screen, that's where the name will be, so you won't have to move it very far. So it's probably just a little bit too big. We're a little bit tight in there, so I'm going to shrink it down a little bit more, just a tad, and pop it in there. Okay. So now you can choose your colour for your name. It's defaulted to the colour that I had in there. The design has now got lots of colours, or you can go to your thread colours, and I've done that in previous videos too, so you can go back to those. Now, embroidering this out. Often we do these designs and we don't actually get round to stitching them out, and how are we going to do it? Now with this design, I would like to stitch this onto stitch the embroidery design first, and then put a backing underneath, and then stitch right round for the outside edge, so that I can tear my tear away from the edge, and I'm left with just the tag with a clean back with no bobbin fill showing, and just the decoration on the front. So to do that, we need to put all of the design to stitch out first. Okay, so let's select everything below the tag here, and that part of the design is grouped, so that's easy. And then I'll just hold my shift key down and grab the name Carol as well. And in fact, to save it breaking up, I'm going to group those two together as well, and then it's easy to move them as one up to the top. It's just taking a little while because it's quite a big design. I mean, a lot of stitches in it. So there we go, that's moved to the top in the order now. So we're going to have the boxes and my name stitch first. I would actually like to have a basting stitch around that design, and the actual frame of the placement line of the frame here, because it's done like a manual applique, will work really well as a basting stitch. So I'm going to copy that and paste it at the beginning of the design. So let's select it and go copy and paste, and it'll paste it at the bottom, so we just need to take that right up to the top and drop it there. Okay, so we're going to get a basting stitch, then we're going to stitch our design, and then it's going to do another basting stitch. So what I want is, I want the machine to stop after the design so that I can slide another piece of fabric under the hoop to use as the backing before it stitches this. So we need to change the name Carol, so I have to ungroup that so I can just get the name Carol and change that to another colour so that the machine stops. I mean, it doesn't matter what colour you thread it up as. So there we go. So the machine will stop after the design and ask you to change colour for this placement line, and so you will already have a placement line that you stitched at the beginning, so you can then take the hoop off and put a piece of fabric on the back to cover that placement line, and you can tack it down with however you normally do it, so long as whatever you use is going to be outside the stitch area, and then put it back in the hoop. Put the hoop back in the machine, and stitch this next placement line. After that, you can trim all the fabric on both sides right back to the placement line, and then so we'll need another colour change here so that the machine doesn't continue on. So let's select that part and change that to another colour. Red will do. Okay, so to get it to stop after the second placement line so you can trim, it will then move on, trim fabric top and bottom, and then move on to stitch this one. You can still leave the same thread in the machine, it's just that you need a stop there so you've got time to trim, and then after this it will then stitch the last piece. Now if you don't want it to stop between these two, you can make the bottom one red as well, and then it will continue on. Now you'll notice that the eyelet stitches last of all as well, so that will go right through all layers as well, and then you can punch a hole through. It's probably a good idea to thread your machine up for these last ones with matching bobbin thread as well. So even though this is yellow, you probably want to, whatever colour you're going to do your border, thread up a bobbin full of the same colour, and then stitch this and this with matching thread on top, and you'll have a lovely border around your tag. I hope you had fun watching that, and you can experiment with your tags, and that's, a good little project for last minute Christmas things. Thank you.